Hey everyone, I'm starting something new here, and honestly, I'm not really sure how it's going to go, but figured I would start this process and wanted to bring you along on what I've been working on and also to take some advice from some people I follow online who say just build it in public. Right. What I'm going to share with you is the early stages of the work that I'm doing around AI strategy, AI solutions, for myself, for my business, and also for our clients. And just to share with you what I'm thinking, how I'm approaching it, and what I see coming in the future. Now, if you know me, you know I'm an early adopter. I am creative first voice. I have always loved innovation, new products, new ideas, new technologies. It's always who I am, how I'm wired. And over the last 6 years, I've really helped clients with processes, business strategy, strategy reviews, also helping them with leadership development and developing their teams. Mike takes care of a lot of that, my business partner, on the people side, and I focus more on the strategy side. And over the past few months, I've just gone deeper and deeper into understanding what's happening in the world of AI, using the technology for myself as well as for our business, and really signed on to it when it was very early on, just within the first couple of months after ChatGPT was opened up to the public. I was there, I was writing my first prompts, and I was just like, this is going to change everything. So in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about what that journey's been like for me. I'll share with you a couple of diagrams that has helped crystallize my thinking on what's happening now, what the future is, and just to simplify what's happening and what the key components are. I'll also share with you some of the things I've learned specifically around prompts and prompt engineering. Don't know how experienced or how much you've done of that, but hopefully there's something here that'll be helpful to you. And then just give you a preview of some of the things to come in future videos and what I'd like to highlight about my journey and what I'm learning. I keep thinking about the 90s. Back in the 1990s when I was graduating college and just starting out my career, and we started getting these little CD-ROMs, these little discs in the mail from AOL. And we started putting those into our computers and attaching modems to phone lines. And before you know it, we were connected to the internet for the very first time. And I remember thinking then, this is going to be huge, right? Like when computers can talk to each other and people can send electronic messages to each other, which we now know as email, as well as chats and other ways of just connecting with other people and have the computers exchanging data. I knew back then this is going to be huge. This is going to change everything. And it did, right? It changed a lot of stuff. And that was a really exciting time for me. I was just starting my career. I had graduated Wake Forest. I had gone to work in a small family business. And from there, after a few years, went into another small business that became a really big business. Got bought out by a Fortune 200 company. And as that business grew, I had the opportunity to work in several different departments, started a couple of those departments with coworkers. And one of those was becoming the director of IT, and just for a couple of years, and spent quite a few years before that working in systems and understanding how computer programming worked and the computer applications. I was much more on the software side than the hardware side. And like it was moving quickly, and there was a lot to learn then. But keeping up with AI developments today, I mean, probably a lot of you have had the same experience as me. It's like drinking out of a fire hose some days. And so what I thought was I would share with you what I'm learning and some of the things that I have found myself struggling with, but also some of the things that I'm starting to find my way through as to what direction I should be taking. And then hopefully this will help you. Maybe this will help you think about it and pick a particular area that you want to focus on as well. Just a few weeks ago, I was thinking about some of the big ideas here, and I was thinking through how to explain them to my business partner, what it was in my head and how I was thinking. And for those of you who know me, I like to sketch. I like to draw. It's just kind of a thing for me. It just helps me think. So sticky notes or just taking out a white sheet of paper, but my favorite is still the whiteboard. So see behind me, there's a diagram, and there's several parts of that. I'm going to show you a little bit cleaner version that I've done since then, but that's where I just did the sketching and the thinking just in the last couple of weeks. And it kind of helped me to think through what's what's happening in this digital world of AI and AI engines and LLMs and the software tools, and then also like what's happening here in the analog world. And so you'll see the diagram here. I'll put it up for you. This really was a way for me to start thinking about this divide between the digital world and the analog world. The analog world being everything that's physical, the environments, thoughts, people, ideas, our experiences. Like all of that is yet to be, a lot of that's yet to be discovered and digitized in such a format that the AI engines can use that. It has to have digital information, and that information has to be somehow transformed. And so in the middle of this, you have this, what I'm calling the necessity of digitization. It's just this way to discover what's happening out there in the world and to input that through some sort of interface into the digital world. And this is going to be a huge opportunity. I think about this for my own life and for my business, for our clients, is how do we take what's happening in the analog world, the world that we touch and interface with, and then how do we digitize that and put it in such a way that the engines can use it? I mean, they're already sucking up lots of data, and some cases where they don't have the data or information, they will hallucinate. They're getting better about it, but I mean, there's this insatiable need for them to have information and data. And so I think this will continue to be a big opportunity for those of us who are able to discover and to gain insights from the physical world, the analog world, and to translate those or to interface those into these AI engines. And there's also this, I think there's going to be a need for all sorts of sensing devices, things that can see into the physical world or hear or listen or get information from that analog physical world. There's going to be a huge need for that. There's also a huge need just to get things out of people's heads, their own experiences, their own expertise. We talk to a lot of clients and they have this person that's been on staff for 20 or 30 years, or the business owner or founder. And people have joked with us sometimes. They're like, we just need to figure out how to get it out of their head into a format that we all can use and share and reference. And so I think that will continue to be a huge need. And something has to translate all of that information, all of that's what's happening in the analog world, and put it into a way that we can actually use it and make the most of it. And I think that's going to be a valuable skill. It's going to be a valuable work yet to be done. The second diagram is really all about prompting, and it's about how we interface with the AI machine or tools that we have out there. And there's a lot of work being done here. This is what I'm going to show you here is not, the best that's out there. It's not the most complex. There's a whole lot better, more complex formulas for putting together prompts. But I found that this one works. I've picked up a little bit of this from Dan Martell. He has a simplified 4 or 5 part approach. I like 4 because D4, we have a D4 method that we use with our clients. It's based in design thinking. And so I think the 4 parts kind of make sense for me and for our business, and makes sense to Mike too, because we're very versed in that kind of methodology. And what you see here is just kind of illustrating what that interface layer is. There's some sort of business activity that happens. There's things that are happening in the digital world, but then there has to be some sort of prompt given to it, and there has to be something that says, hey, this is what I want from you, or here's the request I'm making. But I just heard the other day the average prompt that people are giving to an AI engine or one of these LLMs is about 9 words long. And I'm telling you, that's just not long enough. It needs more information. It needs context. And the saying's always been in information technology and data systems, like garbage in, garbage out. And that's still the case now, that if you give it a garbage prompt, you're going to get less than a great response. And the better information you give it, the better prompt that you give it, the more structured of a prompt that you give the computer as an instruction, then the better of a response you're going to get from it. It's going to be able to generate a much higher quality output when you give it a much more structured response. So I'll be talking about that more later on. I'll probably share with you some of the prompts that I'm using, and actually I will have ChatGPT help me construct a prompt and then take that prompt and turn around and use it. And so there's lots of different ways that's happening now, and probably some of you are using and learning some of that for yourself, and I'd love to hear about it. What struck me as I was going through this was that my prior work as a business analyst and as an IT director has really started to come back into focus for me, and I've started to draw on that experience, because when I look back at my experience as a business analyst and working kind of in that middle role between business users and the programmers, I had to take what was happening in the user's life and what kind of work they were doing and what kind of needs they had. And I had to take that kind of general language, natural language requests that they would give me, and then I had to somehow turn it into something that I could use for the programmer. So it was a design brief, or it was some sort of document or structured outline of how the system was going to work and what the user wanted from it and where we would pull the data from and what kind of format it was going to come out in. And so I look back at that experience, and actually it has helped prepare me for this moment in constructing the right kind of prompts and using the machines in such a way that I get the most out of the results from those. It also struck me that while I was an English major, and for years I thought, well, I'm not really using my major, it turns out now that I use it all of the time. I'm thinking about the words and the structure and the syntax and in kind of a systematic way of using the words to really give the highest quality prompt to the machine so that I actually get the highest quality results back. And for me, that's been exciting. I never took any computer classes in college. I did take one computer class in high school, one semester, very basic introduction to computers at that time. I remember getting a Commodore 64 and had a cassette tape that you did data storage on, and I put in some basic programming language there, basic as in basic the code, not basic as in simple or fundamental, and actually learned how to do some programming there and create a little game or some sort of output on the screen. And that's about as far as I got. The rest of it has all been self-taught, really, on the application side, not so much the hardware side. Mine's always been software. And so now I think about, having those language skills and being able to construct the right kind of prompts and using the right kind of language. I mean, that's the future of interaction with computers, is having natural language, having the ability to take English for the most part. A lot of the machines are using English, but, taking that prompt and constructing it in such a way that you get the best results from it. It's really about engineering the conversation. And things are just changing so fast that it's easy to get overwhelmed. Every week it just seems like there's new announcements, there's new discoveries, there's new technology has been introduced. It's just advancing so fast that it's really tough to stay focused. I know for me, I kind of consider it a gift to be able to take in lots of information and distill it down very quickly. I do that a lot for our clients and have done it in my personal life and professional life for many years. And I enjoy learning. I enjoy absorbing all of that information. But even for me, it's gotten overwhelming at times. It's just moving so fast right now. It's just incredible how fast it's moving. So what I'm starting to do is define one or two areas that I really want to focus on and go deep in those while I know a little bit about what's going on around that in a much wider context. I'm really trying to pick an area, too, that I can really focus in on. For me, that's going to be more like AI strategy. How does it fit in with the business strategy for us, for our clients, for the people around me? It's really learning about how it's changing our interaction with computers and what it's going to be, and learning how it's going to impact what we can get out of the computers. It's that part of it's going to be pretty amazing, is what it enables us as human beings to be able to do when the interface layer changes and simplifies so much. It's going to change everything. So we'll talk more about that. The other thing I'm going to talk about is the cultural changes or the workplace changes that are going to happen. I think there's a lot of implications for those. Mike and I work a lot with people with their leadership teams and their team dynamics, and I think there's a lot of that's going to be changing as well. And so I want to kind of share with you what I'm learning there and what the implications are and kind of how I'm putting the pieces together in my own mind. Okay? So, look, don't have all the answers. I'm still learning and discovering just like you, but I hope to be able to put together some of the pieces and to be able to help you learn as you go. Would love to hear from you if you have some ideas, or if you have questions, or if you want to start a conversation, just drop me a line in the comments or reach out to me via my website, d4concepts.com. Yeah, I would love to just start the conversation and kind of learn with you and to help you if I can somewhere along the way. And be on the lookout for future videos as I continue to share with you my journey into this world of AI and what's coming next. And speaking of next, can't wait to see you on the next video.